Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Kristopher.
Here to review last season's The Walking Dead, finally.
Season 8.
Season 8. We're late to the party on this one, or specifically I am. Marcia, you watched it when it was on,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. I caught up to it, finally, once it was released on Netflix. I watched the first episode live, and I did end up, cutting the cord from cable, as it were, that year, but... I just was not into it, and
trash people.
Oh my god! Oh, and honestly, after having watched it, I would have been suffering through so much of that season.
Oh yeah.
Like towards the end, it was a little bit better. I'll tell you we'll get into it, but there was stuff in the middle that was good, stuff at the end that was good, and everything else was pretty meh and underwhelming on all fronts. Even though it was called all-out war, it was really all-out politics, and I hated it. I really did not like what they were doing. I didn't like most of the characters. Like, there's only a few characters that I even care about anymore. Rick, Maggie, Negan. I don't even care about Morgan because they've had him waffle so many damn times. And Jesus, I like Jesus.
They killed Carol. Not literally. But
no, but now she's supposed to, I think, rise after the demise of Rick in this new season. So I think they're positioning her to take over finally.
Well, because,
well, her and Norman Reedus. And
Norman Reedus is gonna do something?
Yeah, he was just as boring this season too. Like he was like one of the few people that were like not wanting to stick with Rick's plan and wanting to really go after the saviors and stuff, but even his role was like really boring this season. This whole season was just not fun to watch, in my opinion.
And you know what? I really think they should have stuck to 6-episode seasons.
Well, at this point, yeah. 16 is too much.
I really do. I think they should have, or even 8 episodes this season, because they spent half the season putting stuff in there that detracts from the main storyline. Nobody wants to watch those episodes. And so people are just getting uninterested in the whole series. Even the actors are uninterested. They don't even want to be there anymore.
Yeah, we're losing 2 of the main ones.
How many
this
times,
year.
I mean, besides, how many times do you see such a successful series have so many people who are main and pivotal parts of the show bail because of, either they're bored or, they're not getting paid or whatever. And it's so sad because this was such a great series. And especially this, everybody was waiting for All Out War. The build-up, especially the build-up of Negan, was so successful. And it's like, okay, you made him such a badass, like we're gonna have this is gonna be so fun to watch, and they killed it. They ruined it. Trash people, come on. I hated the trash people. The Islander women, that was bad.
Yeah, what was up with that? Just this random group of people in the jungle, like.
Yeah, and then what's his face disappeared and never came back, and nobody ever talked about it. Heath.
Yeah, because the actor went and did Straight Outta Compton and hasn't turned back.
Yeah.
It's.
But still, nobody even talked about it.
No.
I guess we thought he was gonna come back and then he didn't. Or...
We thought so, but yeah, it's just bad, guys. Like it's the Hilltop versus the Sanctuary versus the trash people, and who's on whose side, who is backstabbing, who is double crossing. Does Dwight actually like the good people or not? Is Negan actually super evil or not? Is his number one Simon, super evil? And actually, Simon is still one of the more fun ones to watch.
Simon was, and I hate to say it because I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I love Negan. He is my favorite character of the comic book series. But Simon was more menacing and had more of an evil role than Negan did. They totally downplayed Negan. It's like they got so much backlash of what happened with Glenn. They pulled back, and that was a mistake.
Well, I think they know Negan's arc in the comics now, so they were trying to keep him from going super bad because they knew they had to pull him back.
But let that happen organically.
Yeah, no, they weren't. They didn't. That's for sure. No, Negan is a bit of a pushover. Like, after he smashed, Glenn and...
that was the end of 7, right?
That was the beginning of 7.
That was the beginning. I can't even keep track. Okay.
And then we had a whole season of
nothing.
Of Negan just wandering around and being trying to show what a badass he is. And then it was just more of the same this season. Except there was now it was, spies in people's camps and who's still out there to ruin the spies' plans. And, Negan actually knows more than he thinks he knows. And Rick actually knows more than he thinks he knows, or than he lets people think he knows. And
he has a plan that he's not telling anybody, which is part of the series, but I don't think...
The only things...
That was with the Whispers, not with Negan, though, I thought.
Yeah. Well, the only things that worked for me were, I thought it was actually genuinely sad when the tiger died.
Oh, yeah.
Although, even Ezekiel, they didn't even let Ezekiel have as cool of a moment as he did in the comics. Like, he has a really breakdown moment where he's just like, I'm just a guy, I'm not this, But in the comics, it was a whole issue where he kind of tells his story and explains how he's just a guy, and he thought that affecting this kingly speech would do this and that and all this, and he's totally broken character opening up to someone. And it would have been great to see that happen, but they didn't. They pretty much just kind of skipped over it, and he just hid after being discovered as a fraud. Like, he hid in the house.
Well, he kind of had the conversation with Carol, though.
But not even but it wasn't.
But it wasn't to the extent.
No. It wasn't. I had almost forgotten that they did, because it just was not as impactful by any stretch.
I think they underutilized Ezekiel.
Yeah, he's a really cool character. He's like the new Morgan. Morgan used to be really interesting, and now Morgan is just an uncontrollable beast that no matter what happens, he doesn't know what he wants to do, and he has to be alone. And
now they moved him over to Fear, The Walking Dead.
Yeah, which is technically a prequel anyway, right? So I don't know how that works. I'm behind 2 seasons on Fear.
I have no idea. I don't watch that show.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I try, and
oh,
I just
God. Well, I guess I can watch the last 2 seasons of Fear while playing Red Dead.
There you go.
But anyway, so I did actually think that, in spite of the fact that I didn't like the actor, I thought all the actors around Carl when he died did a very good job.
Oh, you don't? Oh, because you don't like Carl.
No.
Right.
No, I didn't like Carl.
I like Carl.
I didn't like him as an actor
Carl
very
Pop,
much. But the way he went out was actually really cool. And the way they revealed it when Rick and Michonne get back and everyone's underground. And they're all just looking at Rick because they know. And, Rick's the only one that doesn't yet. And so when they get over that whole acting scene. And the fact that they actually... Some people, I'll bet, would think if you watch it back to back that they drew it out for too many episodes, but I'll bet when you were watching it week to week, it was nice callbacks because it was the most dramatic beat of the whole season. And so
I hated it.
It happened at the end. Well, it happened at the end, and then the next episode, Rick still kind of hasn't faced it. He and Michonne are burying him throughout the whole episode, and Michonne's breaking down more than Rick is. And then Carl ends up writing letters to Rick and Negan, and so that those dramatic beats play out. And then I thought that once Michonne actually read Negan his letter, Negan reacted like such a dick. He should have had at least a little bit more of sympathy before going into the dick mode, but they wrote it so that he was so pissed at Rick because of the fact that he almost got killed by Rick, that they then shit on the Carl writing the letter moment. And it was just they were making poor decision after poor decision last season, in my opinion.
I'm so mad that Carl died. And I thought that he got the shittiest send-off. I thought the send-off was bullshit, to be honest. Okay, so if you look back at the different send-offs, Andrea had a better send-off than he did. And Tyrese had a great send-off. All these people had such great send-offs and emotional moments. And with Tyrese, when you look back and he saw you know, all the people had died already, and it's just like the radio was playing the songs and stuff, and it was just so well acted and so well played out. And then so I was expecting, like, well, if they're gonna have to let Carl go because they're idiots and letting Carl go and ruining the show, I mean, that's the first, like, to me, Carl leaving the show is the first sign of the show just dying.
Well, I think they wanted him gone. I think there was a lot of issues behind the scenes with him, actually.
Well, then whatever. I don't care.
Well, then you can't just say whatever.
Switch character. I don't care. Change an actor.
You can't swap an actor
you
out.
You can if they did it right. If
in.
they did it right, they could have, because they were about to leap years anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're about to change.
Yeah,
they're supposed to go forward.
Literally at the end of that season.
Right.
Well, but yeah, I don't know. I can't speak
and then,
as
like,
to why,
they could have switched it out to an older Carl, and like, that's all they had to do. But no, they had to kill him off. Like, it's, I don't know. Maybe it was part of the contract. I don't know. But I think it was totally detrimental to the whole, like, storyline of Walking Dead, because what is the point of Rick without Carl? I mean, yeah, you have the little girl, but nobody gives a crap about the little girl.
Well, it's because she's not a character yet.
Yeah.
Now she's going to be old enough she can be.
I don't think nobody cares about her enough, because it's always been about Rick and Carl, and everybody else has been, you know, supporting that storyline.
Yeah.
That's
well, now we're not going to have Rick anymore.
And now we're not going to have Rick either. But going back to my point, I just felt like, okay, after all this time, he just gets bit by a walker off screen, bit by a walker, and then slowly dies in a shed.
They do show it happen after the fact in a flashback.
Yes. But still, like, I mean, eventually they'll get bit by a walker, yeah. But like, it's just, I felt like they could have done more for him.
Well, but they've done more for everyone. That was the point. Was that not everyone gets that heroic thing. This was just some dumb thing, but he was being a hero. He was going out and helping someone, and he got bit doing it. Like, that could happen to any of the community when they go out and help someone new. It just happened to be Carl.
I don't know. I feel like they did it, like, it was a big finger to Carl's. Like,
do you think, like, it would have been more effective if Negan had followed through and killed him or something? Well, Negan wouldn't have.
No, because he's friends, and that's
Yeah,
and then to your point about what Negan did, his reaction, it's stupid because Negan connected with Carl. He respected Carl. He actually wanted to recruit Carl to be his right-hand man because he's like the anti-Rick.
He had the proper reaction when Rick told him Carl was dead. But
Right.
then when Michonne actually read the letter, he was already too pissed at Rick, and so he couldn't accept it. I get that that was the dramatic choice, but as a viewer, it was a poor choice to make because it wasn't fun to watch.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I don't know.
And then we did get from All Out War. One of the coolest things I thought from All Out War in the comics was when Negan's crew started dipping their weapons in zombie guts. And it passed over so fast in this. It was one episode, and
you didn't even see the remnants of it.
Well, no, you did, because they turned
right,
in the base, and then they were like, "What's going on?" And it caused chaos. But it was one scene of chaos. Like, I felt like they just blew over that whole thing, and maybe in my mind I made it out to be a bigger point in the comics than it actually was. But I was like, "That is awesome! That is so clever!" But they did something with it, but it just didn't play out it didn't play out as big as I thought it was going to. I don't know.
Well, it felt like the whole season, and I think, again, to my point of having too many episodes and all that filler, you're not getting to the meat of the story, and you're getting clouded by all this stuff that you don't care about, so you're just so annoyed by the time you get to the good stuff that you can't really appreciate it, because then they break up the good stuff. And you watch the whole episode, and you're like, you get 10 minutes of action, and or of something that's pivotal, or you're watching like 4 episodes before you get to like the meat of what the story's supposed to be about, or they do this whole thing to get weapons, and at the end they don't even get the weapons. Like, nobody wants to see that stuff. Like, you're just, it's all filler, and I maybe if I watched it back to back, I would feel differently. But week to week, and even now, like, it's been on, I think 4 weeks. I think I've only watched 1 episode because I'm watching it right now, and like when I watched the opener, I'm like, I hate this. Where's Carl?
I was trudging
What is
through
everybody
it.
doing?
I was literally trudging through season 8, and it's like why am I punishing myself like this out of some misplaced sense of obligation to this show?
Right, I gotta finish watching it out, but now they're knowing that they're gonna kill off Rick and all this, and like I do want to see the Whisperers.
Well, I mean, maybe I can stop after the Rick then. If they're gonna kill Rick and Maggie's gonna leave too, then
like
why
you're
am
saying
I
that
still
they
watching?
have stuff for like 10 more seasons.
They said in the news release that they have enough for 10 more years, including movies. They have ideas for 10 more years, including movies. And it's like, screw you guys.
No.
You're just saying that because you see the audience as, there's such audience attrition right now that, it's...
There's too much out there that's way better than what they're dishing out right now. Like, I'm more excited about watching the Cursed Sabrina the Teenage Witch than I am watching Walking Dead. And that says a lot because, like, we've been watching this since day one. Yeah. And they started out so strong, but when, Maggie's gonna leave, and like the end of season 8 where she's all like, we're gonna take down Rick. Like, really? You're gonna take down Rick? Is that really where they're gonna go? No, because she's gonna leave the show. So no one's taking down Rick.
It's such a stupid thing.
Yeah, like, why would Maggie ever, like, yeah, Maggie's upset because she wants Negan to die, but at the same time, it's still Maggie. She's not,
She's not unreasonable. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
She's not going to go against Rick and all of her friends and take down a whole, like, community just to get to Negan. She's not going to do that.
And then they did the thing from the end of All Out War when... but they didn't even do it as well, where there was just like one sentence where Rick's like, we don't have to do this, we can be better, and then Negan hesitates, and then he's, Rick slashes Negan's throat, and walks away, and then like just says, save him. Whereas that was stupid. They shouldn't have that whole thing, and then with Maggie setting up this false rivalry between Maggie and Rick when the comic ended after he actually stabs him in the neck and just says it's done, and then that's where the comic ends, and then the next comic jumps, and it's like, why didn't they just do that? Just end it with that. You think Negan's done, and then like you have a whole backlash of like, oh my god, they killed Negan, wow, this was great, what an ending.
And then you start and then you can show like by the end of the second episode that Negan's in the prison, Yeah, because
like, don't even do it in episode 1,
because
like,
in the comic book with the jump, and it's a slow reveal.
It was like the second or third issue after the jump that they
you realize,
showed. He's still around.
He's still there.
Yeah.
And I want to see the Whisperers War because I mean, it's so cool. I love that aspect of the comic series, but at the same time, I don't see the point because Carl's gone. Yeah. Like, what?
Well, yeah, because the whole romance that develops during that doesn't make sense with the daughter, right?
And Negan's motivation and all of that. Yeah. It does. I don't know what they're gonna do. It doesn't make sense. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not on the set. I'm not part of the production or writing team, so I don't know how they're trying. They're juggling. They're trying to figure out how to do this shit too, and I get it, but I don't think they should go past this season. I really don't think they. I think they need to end it, especially if Rick's leaving. Then you already lost the two main reasons why this show is supposed to be there anyway. No, you're jumping
We'll see.
The shark has been jumped, and I think it ended when Glenn died. To be honest.
Yeah. It's time to put The Walking Dead back underground.
Was 8 also where you saw the relationship with Negan and Carl, right? When they bonded. Yeah. I thought they did a good job with those episodes.
No.
Was that 7?
That was 7. Yeah, when Carl went to his thing. Yeah.
Like 8 was so bad. I don't even remember what was in it.
No, you're putting good things from 7 into 8 just to try and make 8 better.
Yeah.
No, it was terrible. It was terrible pretty much the whole way through. I did not care for season 8 at all.
Oh yeah, because the trash people came back. Right?
Yep. Well, I actually like that when Simon murdered all the trash people, and then the one trash lady was like completely messed up. And, that actually did lead me to the one good scene in the whole season was when she was the only one left, and all of her people had turned to zombies, And so she goes up and turns on the giant trash compactor grinder straight out of Texas Chainsaw 3D and just like makes all this noise until the zombies just start coming. And they just like The Wall music video and movie where the kids just fall into the meat grinder, the zombies just fall. And not only that, but it was actually very effective because it was her friends.
Yeah.
She saw her friends and they just got ground up right in front of her, and then you just see all this hamburger meat get like conveyor belted out into this giant gross pile.
Yeah.
I was like, that was pretty dope. That was a good scene.
Yeah.
They needed about 15 more of those scenes to spread over to the other episodes.
We'll see. I mean, I think I'm hoarding the episodes for this year, not only because I am not that interested, but also to see if
binging will make it easier.
If it'll make it better.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll see. All right. Let's call that one there, guys. Sorry for the lateness of the review, but you can see how excited we were to get to it.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys let us know in the comments down below, what did you think of Season 8? And how do you think it's going to go after we lose Rick and Maggie also? I mean, is the show in a downward spiral, or do you think it's on an uptick? Let us know in the comments down below. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Marcia Parker.
And remember, stay scared.